On the bench, you see every facet of human nature: the good, the bad, the moments of anger, and the moments of incredible grace. And it's taught me that the most powerful force in this world isn't authority, it's compassion. Today, I want to share a story with you. It's not one from my courtroom, but it's a story that has stayed with me, that defines for me what true faith is all about. This story comes from the earliest days of Islam concerning the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In the city of Mecca, there was an old woman, and this woman, she despised him. Every single day, without fail, as the Prophet would walk past her home on his way to the mosque, she would be waiting, and from the upper story of her house, she would empty her garbage pail, right on top of him. Rotten food, dust, refuse, it would land on his head and his shoulders. Can you imagine? The leader of a growing faith, humiliated publicly day after day. His followers were furious. They said, "Let us deal with her. Give us the word." But he always forbade them. He never responded with anger. He never even looked up at her with spite. He would simply calmly shake off the dirt and continue on his way, praying for her. And then one day, something changed. He was walking his usual route, and nothing happened. The garbage didn't come. He stopped. He looked up at her window. It was empty. And instead of feeling relief, instead of thinking, "Good, my problem is gone," he felt concern, worry. What if she is ill, he thought. What if she needs help? So he did not continue to the mosque. This man, who she had abused for so long, went and knocked on her door. The woman was, in fact, sick, and when she opened the door and saw him standing there, not an enemy, but a concerned neighbor, her heart was shattered. It was in that moment, not through force or argument, but through unconditional compassion, that she saw the truth of his character and the beauty of his message. This is the story that so few people hear. This is the essence that gets lost in the noise of politics and fear. It's not about dogmatic rules. It's about a compassion so deep that it extends even to your fiercest critic. It's about a faith that teaches, repel evil with what is better, and suddenly the one with whom you had enmity becomes like a devoted friend. I think about that story all the time, in my court, in my life. It asks us the most difficult, beautiful question. How do we treat those who mistreat us? Before we judge an entire faith, before we paint billions of people with a broad brush of fear, we must look for these stories. We must look for the compassion, the grace, the humanity. That is the universal language that can bind us all together. Thank you for listening. I think about that story in my courtroom all the time. It's easy to sit in judgment. It's easy to see someone who's broken a rule, who's caused harm, and simply punish. The law gives me that power. But the story of that old woman, it asks for more. I remember a young man who came before me. He'd been driving with a suspended license. For the third time, he was angry, defensive, lashing out at the system, at me. The easy thing would have been to just throw the book at him, but I thought of the Prophet not walking away from that door. I asked the young man, "Why? Tell me your story." And he broke down. His mother was sick. He'd lost his job. He was driving her to chemotherapy appointments. The system wasn't his enemy. He was drowning, and he saw no other way. What I learned in studying Islam goes far beyond that one story. People talk about the 5 pillars of Islam, and when you look at them not as rules, but as a framework for a compassionate life, it's breathtaking. First, the declaration of faith. There is no God but God. It's a reminder that we are all subordinate to something greater than ourselves. It kills ego. On the bench, I'm not Frank Caprio, the ultimate authority. I'm a servant of a higher justice. Second prayer, 5 times a day, you disconnect from the world and reconnect with the divine. It's a constant reset button on your moral compass. Imagine if we all took moments throughout our day to remember our purpose, to shed our grudges before they fester. Third, charity. It's not optional. A fixed portion of your wealth must go to the poor. It's institutionalized empathy, a tax on compassion that ensures the community takes care of its most vulnerable. It's a social safety net built on faith, not just politics. Fourth, fasting during Ramadan. You feel the pangs of hunger of those who feel it every day. It's not deprivation. It's an education in empathy. You learn self-discipline. You learn to control your desires, your anger. And fifth, the pilgrimage to Mecca. Millions of people from every corner of the earth, rich and poor, black and white, all wearing the same simple white cloths, standing as equals before God. It is the most powerful visual representation of human equality I have ever seen. I'm not here to convert anyone. I'm a Catholic from Rhode Island, and my faith is the bedrock of my life. But I am here to beg for understanding, to ask that we look past the headlines and see the heart. This faith, which so many fear, has at its core a message of radical peace, profound social justice, and relentless compassion. The word jihad that frightens so many, its greatest meaning, I learned, is not holy war. It's the inner struggle, the daily, difficult battle to be a better person, to conquer your own ego, your own anger, your own prejudice. That's a battle every single one of us can understand. So, my message today is simple. Don't let the noise and the fear close your heart. Seek out the beautiful stories. Look for the compassion, because whether it's in an ancient desert, a modern courtroom, or your own home, that compassion, that is the truest justice there is. It is the language in which God speaks to all of us. Thank you.